Right now at noon, we're learning more about the deadly shooting in New Jersey. We'll tell you what police are saying about the suspects and how a proposed bill could have consequences for people who harass sports referees.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter, filling in for Mark Kane, who's on vacation this week. Another sunny but cold Wednesday across the area. Meteorologist Dana Fulton is here now with your first alert forecast. Hi, Dana.
Josh, it is very cold outside right now. The sunshine a little deceptive, actually. We still have an alert day in the forecast for this afternoon because high temperatures are basically at half of what they should be for this time of year. Temps will be in the mid to upper teens once we reach our afternoon highs. About 15 right now in Madison. Wind chills are at least above zero. We're still in the single digits, though, for much of Dane County. If you travel further north around Camp Douglas, still holding on to about 4 below. Here's a live look with our WISC-TV sky cam. Again, a clear sky, not a cloud in sight, but that sunshine just not helping us warm up too much. The good news, this is the last cold day. We will be hopping back above average tomorrow, Josh. That is going to come along with the threat for some lighter snow moving in, though.
Yeah, it is kind of brutal out there today.
A little crisp, yeah.
All right, Dana, thank you. An investigation is underway this noon after Madison police say more than a dozen gunshots were fired at a home. It happened late last night along Allied Drive. Officers found 13 bullet casings from at least 2 different guns in a nearby terrace area and back patio of a home. Police say around 10 of those bullets hit the home or broke through windows, spraying glass. A 42-year-old woman was hurt by the flying glass, but police say nobody was shot. A 22-year-old man and a 9-year-old boy were also in the home at the time. Most of the people in the home were asleep when those gunshots started. Police believe the home was targeted and the suspects are still at large. One person is recovering today at noon after being hit by a car this morning in Mount Horeb. It happened around 7:30 at Springdale Street and North 8th Street, which is part of a roundabout near the Quick Trip there. There's no word on the condition of the victim. Officials can't confirm the age of the person who was hit. 2 homes were flooded early this morning after a shot fired inside one of them struck a sprinkler system. Fitchburg police were called to the area of Leopold Way around 1 a.m. Investigators say a shot fired inside a residence penetrated a wall and damaged a sprinkler system. The damaged sprinkler system then caused flooding in both homes. The American Red Cross is assisting those residents. A male juvenile was detained and at the scene and later taken to the Juvenile Reception Center. We're learning more about what happened in a New Jersey shooting today. After reviewing surveillance video, Jersey city officials now say 2 shooters targeted a Jewish kosher deli yesterday afternoon. Police say the shooting began at a cemetery before shifting to the deli. When it was over, Jersey City Detective Joseph Seals, 3 bystanders, and the suspects were killed. 2 wounded officers are expected to recover. Investigators are not commenting on a motive, but the New York Times is reporting one suspect posted anti-Semitic and anti-police online.
The motives are still part of the investigation. I said this location, they exited the van and they proceeded to attack this location.
Authorities also found what they describe as an incendiary device in the U-Haul rental van used by the shooters. 2 Wisconsin Republicans have released a bill that would create a medical marijuana program in Wisconsin for patients with certain medical conditions. Representative Mary Felskowski and Senator Kathy Bernier introduced the legislation this morning. Under the bill, patients would need to gain access to a medical marijuana card through the commission. This legislation is now available for lawmakers to sign on as co-sponsors to indicate support of the bill. The authors hope to receive a public hearing in January. Currently, 33 other states have some type of medical marijuana program in place. The WIAA is expressing its support of a sponsored bill in the legislature that would make it a Class A misdemeanor to harass or intimidate a sports official. The bill proposes a possible penalty of up to 40 hours of community service, as well as any other penalties associated with the crime. There are 24 states that have assault legislation, civil statutes, or supportive resolutions protecting sport officials. The bill could help with the official shortage around the state. The bill has bipartisan support. Debate on the articles of impeachment begins tonight with the House Judiciary Committee. If the charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress against President Trump are passed out of committee, they will go to the floor of the House for a vote. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
President Trump ridiculed the impeachment effort at a campaign rally in Hershey, Pennsylvania last night.
The House Democrats announced these two flimsy, pathetic, ridiculous articles of impeachment.
Democrats laid out the charges against the president Tuesday. The first, abuse of power, alleges President Trump openly and corruptly urged Ukraine to publicly announce investigations into his political opponent, former Vice President Joe Biden.
The argument, why don't you just wait, amounts to this. Why don't you just let him cheat in one more election?
The second article of impeachment accuses the president of directing the unprecedented, categorical, and indiscriminate defiance of the House investigation. The Departments of State, Energy, and Defense refused to produce a single document or record.
Lawmakers on the House Judiciary Committee start debating the articles of impeachment tonight. If they vote them out of committee, they then go to the full House for a vote. That's expected next week.
It's a crime in progress. He's still doing it today. And so I say to my Republican colleagues, if you care about preserving our democracy, we have to hold this president accountable.
If passed in the House, the Republican-controlled Senate will hold a trial.
Totally surprised if there were 67 senators to remove the president.
It's not yet clear if the Senate will call witnesses to testify as part of the trial. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
16-year-old Swedish environmental activist Greta Thunberg has been named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. The magazine says this was the year the climate crisis went from behind the curtain to center stage, and no one did more to make that happen than Thunberg. It's her blunt talk that has turned her into a global sensation in little more than a year. In August, she crossed the Atlantic in a zero-carbon emissions boat to participate in the United Nations Climate Summit, and she slammed world leaders for not doing enough. Thunberg says she was very surprised to be named Time's Person of the Year.
As I said before, I should not be the one to be Person of the Year. It should be everyone in the Fridays for Future movement, because what we have done together.
This is the first time the magazine has chosen an individual teenager as the Person of the Year. Before Thunberg, the youngest person honored as an individual was 25-year-old Charles Lindbergh, selected as the most influential man of 1927. Lindbergh was also the first Person of the Year in Time's history. SSM Health St. Mary's has released its top list of baby names for Madison area families in 2019. For boys, the top 5 names were Owen, James, Isaac, Henry, and Oliver. And for the girls, Grace, Emma, Charlotte, Evelyn, and Ivy were the top 5 most popular names. From December 2018 through November 30th of 2019, providers at St. Mary's Hospital have delivered 2,052 babies, which includes 51 sets of twins. May saw the most deliveries with 207 babies born during that month. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Who doesn't like getting a package of homemade goodies in the mail? I know I do. And today we have some tips and tricks to help make sure that everything arrives safe and sound. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll be making homemade goodies to ship to loved ones all over the country. Let me share a few of my favorite tips and tricks to help make sure that everything arrives safe and sound. Before you get started, you want to consider what type of goodies ship best. One option is cookies. You want to go with ones that are, let's say, more durable. You know, like sugar cookies, gingerbread, and so on. Bar cookies and brownies also ship well. Just avoid something like a cheesecake bar that needs refrigeration. And no matter what you're shipping, whether that be cookies or whatever, always make sure it's cool before packing it. For cookies, wrap them in small bundles or place them in a plastic container. Tuck some crinkled up plastic wrap around them so they don't rattle and break. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that decorative tins or boxes of nuts and snack mixes are also great to ship. So no matter what edibles you're shipping, make sure you pack these in smaller containers in a sturdy box nestled in some packing peanuts. And don't forget to put a note inside so they know who they're from. To get you started, we have 2 recipes that I'll be shipping this year, along with my regular go-to cookies. It's our amazing sugar and spice nuts and our addictive red cinnamon popcorn. Both are on our website right now, so what are you waiting for? I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a pack, ship, and yummy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Another cold day across the area, but a warm-up is on the way, and with it, some rain and snow chances. Meteorologist Dana Fulton has more in your first alert forecast coming up next on News 3 Now at noon. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline and volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833, and this service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. We're paying more for the basics, and your zip code may reveal your favorite holiday movie. Diane King Hall explains in today's Money Watch report.
The cost of living in the U.S. rose in November. According to the Labor Department, consumer prices increased 0.3%. That was more than expected. Rising prices at the pump were a big culprit, but food, rent, clothes, and health care costs all rose too. The Federal Reserve is in focus on Wall Street as the central bank kicks off its last meeting of the year. Investors are widely expecting the Fed to leave interest rates unchanged at a range of 1.5% to 1.75%. Facebook is rejecting efforts by Attorney General William Barr to give authorities a way to read encrypted messages. The company says it will move forward with plans to enable end-to-end encryption on all of its messaging services. End-to-end encryption locks up messages, so not even Facebook can read the contents. And everyone has their favorite holiday film, and homeowner research site House Method did some digging to come up with a state-by-state breakdown. Its survey found that A Christmas Story took the top spot overall. It was the most popular in 24 states. Elf was a household favorite in 11 states, Home Alone in 4, and It's a Wonderful Life in 3. Both Kansas and Vermont chose Die Hard as their favorite flick for the season. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And let's take a look at the stocks at the noon hour. The Dow is down 56 points, NASDAQ up 10, and the S&P 500 up about a point. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee is out of the radio barn today, so here are your farm numbers. Meteorologist Dana Fulton is here now with your first alert forecast. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Josh. It is still a little cold outside, but when we look at our bigger picture, as far as our winter trends, specifically in Madison, going all the way back to 1970, it's important to remember what the whole climate picture is, not just what our weather and our forecasts in the short term. We've actually risen quite a bit in our average temperatures, just over 4.5 degrees actually since 1970. We've had several years where it's been well below that average line, but overall the trend is still increasing and still warming. That's affecting us, of course, right on the isthmus. Temperatures are currently in the mid-teens with a breeze from the west-northwest, enough that you'll notice it as our wind chill are in the single digits, a mostly sunny sky. So if you're sitting in the car with the sun coming through the window, if your office space is right by a window, it probably feels okay. But it's just once you get outside, it's still very, very, very cold. And that wind chill is a measure of what it actually feels like on your skin. So if you have all of your skin covered up, of course, with gloves or a hat, you'll probably be okay. But if you leave anything exposed, the hands are probably going to get a little bit chilly outside this afternoon and this evening. We stay mostly sunny, though, through the rest of the day. Sunset just after 4:30, and then the cloud coverage builds in overnight. We'll start off Thursday mostly cloudy with light snow developing later on in the day. Most of the snow is going to stay well north of Dane County, but as we get closer to noon, might see just a few snow showers creep on in, some lighter snow and flurries at times into the early afternoon, and then throughout the afternoon and evening, that snow really just tapers off. Might have a few lingering flurries. We stay mostly cloudy, but notice pretty much everything's out of here as far as the precipitation is concerned. Still cloudy for Friday. We have a chance for some light snow, or excuse me, some flurries to develop late in the day. Right now, though, not a great chance to see a lot coming through on Friday. And ultimately for Thursday, not a lot of accumulation. The peak for this timing right around noon, and then the precipitation probability just tapers right on off. Again, not a big event, but if you do have any errands that you're trying to run right around on your lunch break, keep in mind it might be just a little slick on the roads at that times. Just a little bit of flurries actually can make things kind of slick on the sidewalks for us. Temperatures today hopping up to the upper teens. Tonight, we're actually going to steadily warm on up because we have a mostly cloudy sky developing. So we'll hit 12 at about 8, 9 o'clock, and then we start to warm heading into tomorrow morning. So it's not going to be very cold outside for early tomorrow. Breeze from the southeast, about 6 to 12 miles per hour for overnight. Today, again, high of 18. Tomorrow and for Friday, we finally climb above average. We'll be in the upper 30s, actually. We should be in the low 30s for this time of year. So 37, 38, not a bad spot for both days. That chance for snow on Thursday right around noon and in the early afternoon. Friday, a little bit of a flurry or drizzle chance, just because temps will actually be above freezing. So just a light chance for some precipitation late on Friday. The weekend, though, we cool right back on down. Saturday will be close to freezing with the chance for some more light snow. Again, not a major event, though, just not going to pick up a lot of accumulation. And then heading into next week, we get a several day stretch of sunshine and dry weather. It's just going to be cold outside again as high temperatures will fall back to the 20s. But even though the 20s sound chilly, it's not the teens like right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really could be worse.
It could be much worse. So we just get a few more degrees for next week.
All right, Dana, thank you. Still ahead for us today at noon, how a man is helping bring joy to a small town during the holiday season. Keep watching News 3 Now at noon. A Secret Santa is taking an entire small Iowa town to the movies, literally. An anonymous donor bought tickets for every showing of A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood in Webster City because he wants everyone in town to see it for free. Laura Terrell has the story.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
It's the movie that is sure to make you smile. Tom Hanks portrays TV icon Fred Rogers, known for his cozy cardigans and message of neighborly love.
I grew up watching Mr. Rogers.
The feel-good film starts playing here in Webster City on December 20th.
Enjoy the show.
And the tiny theater that often struggles to remain open is bracing for a packed crowd.
This has become the talk of the town. Everywhere I go, people are like, is it true? Is somebody really gonna pay for everybody to come to the movie?
It's true. An anonymous donor is willing to shell out thousands so anyone can come here to see the movie for free during its 8 showings.
Thank you.
And as you can imagine, this neighborly act of kindness has everyone buzzing.
It's pretty cool. It's a nice Christmas gift.
So if you're wondering, who is it? Sorry, but you'll never know.
I think the definition of charity is to without the expectation of any return. And
the local Secret Santa won't reveal his identity, but he will say the reason behind the gift is to encourage people to be more like his hero, Mr. Rogers.
Let's make the most of this.
If you can take nothing else away from this, be inspired to be kind to one another.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Incredible story there. Dana's here with the final check of the forecast. Hi, Dana.
Hey, we do still have an alert day in the forecast for this afternoon. Even though it is so sunny outside, it is very, very cold. We should be talking about temperatures in the teens in the middle of January, and we're seeing them right now in the middle of December. Temperatures this morning, of course, in the single digits. Will climb to the upper teens this afternoon. Right now, we're about 15 in Madison, 19 in Mineral Point and in Janesville, but it feels colder than that when you factor in that west-northwest breeze. Wind chills are in the single digits. We will continue to see sunshine throughout the afternoon and early evening. Sunsets just after 4:30. And that's when the clouds will build in. So if you do have any plans outside this evening, just make sure you bundle up.
All right, Dana, thank you, and thanks for joining us. Make it a great day, everyone.